Okay. So they before starting to gangrene, there are few terms which I would like to discuss with you. These are few terms related to the cell death. Cells means cells injury. Huh? So and these are very close related terms. These terms are ischemia, infarction, necrosis, apoptosis, and gangrene. Okay, so one by one we just let us discuss what are these terms and because in surgery you must to know what's going on. Huh? So these terms are very much important. You must to know all these terms. Ischemia. Anybody can say what is ischemia?
It is a lack
So
of
when there
oxygen.
is oxygen, blood, when the
Hmm?
tissue lacks the oxygen, then it is called as ischemic condition.
Okay, means when the tissue is underperfused. Okay, means there is a restriction in blood supply. Okay, the important is only restriction, not stopped. Means the tissue is still, the cells are still getting the oxygen and nutrition, but the amount is reduced. Means that the blood supply is restricted somehow. Okay, then the tissue goes into ischemia. That condition is called ischemia. Okay, when this condition progress long time and the cells are not getting enough amount of oxygen to survive, then that condition is called as infarction. Okay, infarction means there is the death of the cells due to inadequate blood supply. Okay, so ischemia, infarction. Next term is necrosis. Necrosis means there is the death of the cells in the living tissue. There is death of cells in the living tissue, and the reason of the death may be that uh, restricted means stopping the blood supply, maybe the injury, maybe the toxins, maybe some external factors. Okay, this is that death is not natural. So the necrosis is this means it has very little difference between the infarction and the necrosis. Infarction happens only with the uh, when the tissue is not getting blood supply. Okay, then tissue goes into infarction. But the necrosis, both are cell death. In both condition, infarction and necrosis, there is the cell death. But the infarction cell death happens due to the stopping of the blood supply. But while in the necrosis, the cell death may be due to that any external factor, trauma, any toxin, any infections. Okay, and these both type of cell death are unplanned cell death. Okay, and next term is apoptosis. Apoptosis means the death of the cells, but it is naturally occurring. Means every cells has a lifespan of limited times. So after the completion of that lifespan, that cell dies. Okay, so this is the natural phenomena, apoptosis. So it is a harmless process. It happens in our body and it is good for our health. Okay, so although all these terms underwent the cell death, infarction, necrosis, and apoptosis. Well, all these have the difference. Okay, and next term is gangrene. Here also the cell death. Okay, and the reason behind the cell death is basically the stopping of the blood supply, arterial supply. But the one thing is super added with the infarction is that these cell death must have a super added infection by any bacteria. So the difference between gangrene and necrosis is that the gangrenes must have the cell death due to the blood supply and must have the super added infection by any pathogens, any bacteria. So you understand the difference between all these terms: ischemia, infarction, necrosis, apoptosis, and the gangrenes. You understand, na?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you repeat? Necrosis is due to disease or injury, sir?
Yes.
Sir,
The difference between necrosis and infarction is that in infarction the cell that happens due to the stopping of that blood supply, while that necrosis, the cell death is happens due to any external factors like the infection, like trauma, like the toxins.
Okay.
Okay. So now today
Okay,
we
sir.
discuss the gangrene. Huh? So so gangrene is, this is the cell death due to either the lack of blood supply or due to the serious bacterial infections. Okay, so gangrene is not just a necrosis or infarction. I already described, you know, what is the difference. Means this is not only the infarction and means there is only not only cell death is not there, but the important part is the second line of that, the there must be infection with saprophytic putrefying bacteria. Saprophytic putrefying bacteria means the bacteria which are producing that putrefacients, that is rottenness means the tissue get rotted, सड़ जाता है tissue. Okay, then cell death. So this is the important features of the gangrene, that there is a cell death along with the infection with the putrefying bacteria. So there is a classification of the gangrene. The gangrene is classified in the three types: dry gangrene, wet gangrene, and the one specific type is the gas gangrene. Okay, so first we discuss the there is a few, but there is, okay, there is few etiological factors according to the different types. In all these factors, or these two types of gangrene happens: uh, 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 dry gangrene or wet gangrene. So all these conditions have the dry gangrene or wet gangrene, or sometimes gas gangrene. Okay, so these are the these physiological factors classified on the basis of that arterial occlusion, venous obstruction, nervous disease, trauma, infective diabetes, and physical trauma. In all these conditions may have the gangrene. That may be the dry gangrene, that may be the wet gangrene, depend on the main pathology is there. So suppose if in their arterial occlusion, if the arterial occlusion there, arterial occlusion may happen in the atherosclerosis, embolism, Raynaud disease, Buzzard disease, cervical patient has any cervical hip syndrome, syphilitic gangrene. So in these all these conditions, that arterial gangrene means most of the gangrene will develop after these conditions, that may be the dry gangrene. Where the venous gangrene, this may happen due to the deep length thrombosis. So this gangrene should be the wet gangrene. There are some nervous disorders like seridiomyeloma, TF dorsalis, peripheral neuritis, hemiplegia, paraplegia, leprosis. In that condition, maybe the dry gangrene, and your condition may be the wet gangrene. In that trauma due to direct injury of arteries, indirect injury of the arteries may lead to development of the gangrene. So that may be dry gangrene or wet gangrene. Some infective conditions are there. In that condition, the gas gangrene is always due to the infection. That may be that that infection may be due to the okay. So now now comes to the one by one description of the dry gangrene and the wet gangrene. So the dry gangrene has some important what are the characteristics of the dry gangrene? Here that this happens due to the obstruction of the arterial blood supply. So that dry gangrene happens due to the obstruction in the arterial blood supply. So that characteristic feature is the color and the features, color is the also important fact. Features the dry gangrene, that color is gradually changing, means first that tissue will be pale, later on it will be little greenish, and finally it becomes the black. Due to white black, because that hemolysis, that RBCs are hemolyzed, so iron is released, so iron causes always the black coloration. So these, the final is the dark black color tissue. Hmm. And this is the dry, means there is no edema, the tissue becomes dry, uh, and there should be no edema, and that because the art there is stopping only arterial supply, the blood supply is normal, so that's why there is no means sustaining of that blood inside that tissue, so there is no edema because blood veins are working properly, so the arterial supply is just reduces, so whatever the amount of the blood is supplied, that will be well drained also, though no collection of the blood in the tissue, so this gangrene are the dry. That dry gangrene may happen so many conditions we already discussed, arterial disease of artery, that Burgess disease, Raynaud's disease, atherosclerosis. Okay, so in that condition, embolism, when the embolus obstruct the arteries, so this condition happens usually the progressive. There is no sudden that gas gangrene, the dry gangrene never happens sudden, it is the progressive process, it takes little times, months, first tissue get in ischemia, then infarction, then that gangrene happens. Okay, and one more characteristic feature is that there is a there is one line that that demarks the gangrene tissue and healthy tissue. There is always a well differentiated tissue, healthy tissue and gangrene tissue, that is demarcated by the one edematous red colored line, that is separation of the dead tissue, and this line is present due to the inflammation of that tissue, because in our body, because this is one side there is a dead tissue, other side there is the healthy tissue. Okay, so that body always tries to make distance from the dead tissue, dead के साथ कोई नहीं रहना चाहता. Okay, so our body also acts as to keep away from the dead tissue, so it creates one line, demarcation of the line, that is there is the inflammation of the tissue in that line, so it clearly visible there is one line between healthy tissue and there is the dead tissue. Okay, so these conditions happen, the diabetic gangrene, senile gangrene means due to old age there is atherosclerosis and may develop that gangrene, and Raynaud's disease, embolism, ligation of injury to the vessels when during surgery, if you ligate any arteries accidentally, though that later tissue may goes into the gangrene, frostbite. So these are the conditions and these are character feature of the dry gangrenes, and these are the few conditions which may happen, patient may have with this suffer with this disease, that may goes into the dry gangrene. Next, the wet gangrene. So here is that important positive factor of the dry gangrene, that blocking of the arterial supply. Here due to the development of the wet gangrene is the main features is there is a obstruction is the venous supply. Okay, so due to the obstruction in the venous supply, so the blood is coming inside, means blood is coming to the tissue, but it's not going to the outside. There is because there is any obstruction in the venous, so so that may cause stagnant of that blood inside that tissue, that may develop the edema, and later on the edema will be so severe that it may blockage all the the pressure is very high, so the arterial supply also blocked. So here the arterial supply blocks later. First the venous supply block, later on the arterial supply block due to the development of the edema. So that is the due to edema, and this is the collection of fluid. So that's why it is called wet gangrene. Okay, so and then after the just this after this thing obstruction means that edema, and that get infected, so that in that in bacteria, the pathogens is causes that liquefaction of all the tissue, and there is the collection of the pus. Okay, that's why this is called wet gangrene. Okay, the characteristic features is the one of the characteristic feature of the wet gangrene, other than the edema. Then one is there is the very foul smell is there, or very bad horrible smell is there. And that here also there is a one line of demarcation, but it is not clearly as visible in the dry gangrene. So there is a well ill-defined demarcated line between the healthy tissue and the gangrenous tissue. The patient have some constitutional symptoms which are not present in the dry gangrene. Constitution means that symptom that generalized features. Suppose if the patient has the infective wet gangrenes in any body, so patient may have that generalized feature, the fever, tenderness, anorexia. That may not present in the dry gangrene. That are not present in the dry gangrene, but the wet gangrene has some constitutional features also, along with that local. So the condition means that which may cause the wet gangrene, that or that are somewhere in acute inflammations. Okay, long standing venous thrombosis, and that condition of the paraplegia, hemiplegia, that may lead to the bed sores. Okay, so here is so one very characteristic is that Fournier's gangrene, that is the gangrene of the scrotum. Okay, so this is also wet gangrene. So what are the characteristic feature of that wet gangrene? It develops due to the obstruction in the venous supply. Okay, there is the very ill-defined demarcation line between dead tissue and the healthy tissue. Okay, that that part is that there is very foul smelling is there, but each patient has some constitutional features which are not present in the dry gangrene, and some other features just like that that color. Here also the color is that black, but it is less less dark as compared to the dry gangrene. Here the color changes from the brownish, starting from the edema means red, then become brown, then become green, then become dark. Okay, where the dry gangrene it started from the pale, and then green, and then black. Okay, so the finally it also become black, but that hemolysis is not so much prominent. So there is here is the color is not as dark as in the dry gangrene. Okay, next next important condition, that is the gas gangrene. So this is the very specific type of the gangrene. Means it happens in the conditions where there is a mostly the patient have a severe trauma, and and also the infection of the special kind, one special special uh, bacteria, that is called Clostridium. Okay, so this bacteria usually found the soil, and so if any person have the severe trauma, any so much muscles and lacerated devitalized muscle mass, and having the gross containing usually in the accidental injury, crush injury, disaster injury, where the severe trauma followed by that contamination with this clostridial bacteria. Okay, so in other gangrene, the bacteria is not a specific, any bacteria can be there, but in the gas gangrene the only bacteria should be that is the clostridial, means it may have some other bacteria also, but the clostridial is must for the formation of that gas gangrene. Okay, so here the important characteristic feature is that that parts uh, which is having the gangrene, it is very much swollen due to the production of that gas by the tissue. When the tissue is restricted by this bacteria, it produces gas, so it has the blisters full of the gas and liquids, and the that tissue is very much edema is there, and you may feel the crepitation is there. Crepitation, you understand the crepitation, na? You hear the crep sound in the lungs, no? So that type of crepitation due to the presence of the gas inside the tissue. So that is the characteristic feature of that gas gangrene. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So now you can means differentiate the dry gangrene, wet gangrene, and gas gangrene. Dry gangrene happens due to the arterial blockage. Wet gangrene happen due to the venous blockage, and the gas gangrene happen in the trauma. Okay, that may leading to the obstruction of arteries as well as the blockage of the venous blood. Okay, and it must have the infection by the clostridium species of the bacteria. Okay, so this is the important features. There is some predisposing factor of the gas gangrene, means the gas gangrene may happen some other conditions by the infection of the uh, uh, that clostridium. Actually, that thing is that why clostridium is there, because clostridium requires always that dead tissue to grow. If the tissue is healthy, then clostridium will not grow. Okay, so there are some predisposing factors. Suppose if somebody is injured that big muscles, and there is the hemorrhage inside the body. Okay, and it is not ruptured outside, skin is not ruptured, inside the tissue is crushed, so there is inside the blood clot is there, that may infected, and the supplying the calcium, because when the tissue disintegrate, the clots disintegrate, it release so much calcium, that is very essential for the development of that bacteria clostridium. Okay, so so that is the important features, means that there is the laceration or crush injury. These are the predisposing factor where that uh, gas gangrene may develop. Okay, means there is severe hemorrhage, there is a blood clot and infected, and there is a contamination with the soil and silica, that tissue is contaminated, there is a laceration injury, that are essential. Organism cannot multiply in the, that already described you. And along with gas gangrene, means along with that's clostridium, some other organism also may be there, and there may be circulatory obstruction, just like if suppose if somebody had injured his limbs, and to stop bleeding you have applied the tourniquet, and if you're applying the tourniquet and you're not removing that tourniquet within time, so that remaining tissue is starting going to ischemia, then infarct, then necrosis, and if it is contaminated, then it may develop the gas gangrene. Okay, so that and one more condition, if the inadequate drainage of the exudation of the muscle fiber, suppose the muscle fiber injured, it get inflamed, so it get exudation of tissue, means secrete tissue serous, and if it is not drained in time, then it get infected and it may develop the gas gangrene. And some other condition, that diabetes and occlusive arterial disease are the predisposed, means some of these persons if have the diabetes and occlusive arterial disease, that's like atherosclerosis or Buzzard's disease, Raynaud's disease, these may develop that gas gangrene. Okay, so now you have that then the clinical features of the gangrene. Okay, so there is the five losses are there, which are the sign of the gangrene, five losses. Okay, one thing, loss of temperature, because the arterial supply is blocked. Okay, so that tissue is colder than the other 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 tissue. Okay, so that part is little colder than the that other tissue. So there is a loss of temperature, loss of arterial pulse. Okay, loss of sensation due to the damaging of the nerves, loss of function of that part, and loss of the natural color. Okay, so there is a 5 losses you must to remember. These are the sign of gangrene: loss of temperature, loss of arterial pulsation, loss of sensations, loss of functions, and loss of the color. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so other features are that patient look anxious and anemic. Huh? Because these are the general features. Huh? And rise of temperature never becomes hectic, maybe subnormal. Means if even after the gas gangrene, which where patient may go into the septic shock, in that condition also patient may not have in the rise in temperature. Patient may have the normal temperature. And the rapid pulse and drop in pressure due to liberation of toxin, because that bacteria may leave the toxin in the blood. Okay, so there is maybe have the septic shocks. So and the vomiting, these features may present in the gangrene. Okay, and these are the features of the gas gangrene actually. Okay, so these features may not present in the dry gangrene. These always present in the gas gangrene. The patient is look anxious, maybe the patient may be the shock, temperature may not rise, there may be the vomiting. Okay, and others the load the along with these general features, patient may have the local features, means where the injury is there, that part is there, there is so much swelling is there. Okay, so sometimes the swelling may be so much there. It may, if the stitches are there, so stitches may be the open through, stitches may be cut, because there is pressure of that edema, so much edema, and the pressure of the gas inside the present in the gas gangrene. There is a profuse brownish and foul smelling discharge between the from the sutures. Skin become discolored, and the crepitation of palpation and auscultation. Okay, so these are the features of the gas gangrene actually. Okay, so the this is very important, because if the once if a patient develop the gas gangrene, and so this condition is though condition is local, but it spreads generally, so that's very difficult to save the life of the patients. Okay, so now comes to the management of the dry and wet gangrene. We discuss the treatment and in two heads. One, management of dry and wet gangrene, because the treatment of the management of the gas gangrene is totally different. Okay, so first we discuss the management of the dry and wet gangrene, and later we discuss the management of the gas gangrene. So there is two types of management: one general and local. So general means that you have to look the patient generally. Okay, what is the nutritional status, what is the it is, whether patient have been, because this dry and wet gangrene are is not as serious as the gas gangrene. Okay, so aggressive treatment is not required, but you have to assess the patient's nutritional status. You have the patients if there is any associated morbidities there, just like a patient have any other conditions, other any infections, any metabolic disorders, just like diabetic mellitus or hypertension. These may add the morbidity in that patient. So you have to take care of these conditions. You have to give the proper analgesics, because there is severe pain. uh, and you must to take care of the circulatory system of the body, means that take care of the heart, because that gangrenes may develop that a small embolus, blood clots that may goes in the causes the embolism. Okay, and some maybe the circulatory system is not working properly. So you have to take care of this circulatory system of the body. Okay, so these are the general management. And the local management is should do to assess the condition, either the conservative management or the surgical management. Okay, if the condition is small and not severe, so you can manage the condition conservatively. Okay, and if that condition is severe, then you have to manage the surgically. Okay, so the what the conservative system includes. Look, the treatment of the dry gangrene is very means easier than the wet gangrene. So if any patient has the wet gangrene, then you have try to that convert this wet gangrene into the dry gangrene. Okay, because there is you have to do something means you have to kept the part elevated. Okay, so that it reduces the edema. You have to uh, expose that part, don't cover that part. And you can keep that part in the air, means you can have any fan to that part, so this become dry. Because treatment of dry gangrene is easier than the wet gangrene. So these are the some conservative things which can use for the treatment of that dry and wet gangrene. That part should be kept dry, and attempt should be made to convert wet gangrene to the dry gangrene. Okay, so what can you do? You just uncover the part and use the fan for the help. Okay, and the part should be elevated to reduce the pain. Part should be not heated. Okay, and care must taken to that pressure area, just like heel, gluteal and malleoli, so that cannot develop the ulcers. You can reduce the developing the ulcers. And the gangrenous part should be observed carefully and clean carefully. You must